In The Lord of the Rings of Power, Durin 4 hinted at a fascinating past that Tolkien had never addressed regarding Sauron and the dwarves. Welcome to Every Screen. Spoiler alert. The turning point was in Khazad-dûm's speech in Season 2, Episode 7, where he urged his people to stand with the elves in defense of Eregion. This appeared to be more than sufficient to inspire the dwarves, although Durin's assertion is a little unclear because Sauron and the dwarves never engaged in combat like this in Tolkien's The Silmarillion or The Lord of the Rings. Naturally, there is already ample cause for the dwarves to despise Sauron, particularly Prince Durin. One of the most hated characters of the First Age, Sauron was the first lieutenant of the Dark Lord Morgoth and wreaked havoc over the many dwarf, elf, and human kingdoms of Middle-earth. Khazad-dûm recovered from this destruction during the events of the Rings of Power, but the kingdom would be engulfed in terror and wrath upon learning that Sauron had awarded King Durin III his Ring of Power. For upcoming Rings of Power seasons, Prince Durin's hint that there is more history here is intriguing. Durin says Sauron took the dwarves' 7 smithing secrets. This is not a Tolkien canon story. Rings of Power Season 2, Episode 7, features Prince Durin telling the dwarves that Sauron took the 7 smithing secrets from them. The fact that he provided no further details about this makes this revelation much more fascinating. Since Sauron never had the opportunity to learn smithing from the dwarves, one such occurrence would be the creation of Prime Video. Actually, Sauron had been a Maya under Aule the Smith, the Vala god, who taught the dwarves all the smithing techniques before turning evil and joining Morgoth. What might have taken place and when between Sauron and the dwarves? Future Rings of Power seasons might delve deeper into this. Power Rings of Sauron During. It appears from Rings of Power that Sauron tricked Khazad-dûm into disclosing their secrets by infiltrating their ranks during the First Age. Even if it's not canon, this would be a fascinating story. Pretending to be taught the dwarves 7 smithing secrets by Sauron is probably akin to his encounter with Celebrimbor in Eregion. Subsequent seasons of the Prime Video series will undoubtedly delve into this story, as it's possible that these secrets served as the impetus for his development of the Rings of Power. A narrative like that in the Rings of Power would undoubtedly cause controversy. A brand new story about Sauron taking knowledge from dwarves, which he undoubtedly would have learned himself via Aule, would not be an exception to the rule that changes to canon are rarely popular. However, compared to elves and men, Sauron has a far shorter canonical history with the dwarves. Thus, the addition of such a tale would be advantageous. It would be intriguing to observe Sauron's method of deceit as well. Did he ever assume the guise of a dwarf? Maybe we'll discover out when Khazad-dûm's demise is extensively explored in later seasons of Rings of Power.